Thanks, Chairman. Welcome to the committee, Mr. Pruitt. As we discussed when you and I met, the oceans off of our ocean state are warming due to fossil fuel-driven climate change. It is crashing our fisheries like lobster and winter flounder and making earning a living harder for our fishermen. I see nothing in your career to give those fishermen any confidence that you will care one bit for their well-being and not just the well-being of the fossil fuel industry. In a process that you could replicate in an Oklahoma high school science lab, excess carbon dioxide from fossil fuel emissions is turning our seas more acid. Rhode Island shell fishermen and shellfish growers are concerned. In my colleague Senator Merkley's state, they've already had oyster spat wiped out for businesses by acidified waters. I see nothing in your career that you would care at all about our Rhode Island shell fishermen. In Rhode Island, we have bad air days, and because of EPA's work, they are fewer and fewer. A bad air day is a day when people driving into work hear on the radio that ozone from out-of-state smokestacks has made the air in Rhode Island dangerous, and that infants and the elderly and people with breathing difficulties should stay home on an otherwise beautiful day. Because those smokestacks are out of state, we need EPA to protect us, and I see nothing in your record that would give a mom taking her child to the hospital for an asthma attack any comfort that you would take the slightest interest in her. And your passion for devolving power down to states doesn't help us, because our state regulators can't do anything about any of those problems. They all come from out-of-state sources. In this respect, we are very like Delaware. One of the things I'd like to ask you about here is the connection between you and some of these fossil fuel companies. These are some of the companies that have supported you. These are some of the political organizations that you've raised money for. You've raised money for them for Pruitt for Attorney General, correct?
Yes, sir. I have a campaign committee for that, yes.
And Devon Energy, Koch Industries, ExxonMobil have all maxed out to that account.
I'm not aware if they're maxed out or
times.
not, Senator, but I'm sure they've given to that committee.
Oklahoma Strong PAC is your leadership PAC?
It was, yes.
It was? And similarly, they gave money, they maxed out to that organization as well, which you control.
I'm unsure about that, Senator.
Okay. Well, they contributed to it.
I'm even unsure about that as well. I haven't looked at that.
You closed your super PAC, Liberty 2.0, but that took fossil fuel contributions as well, correct?
That particular entity has been closed, yes.
Now, you helped raise money for the Republican Attorney General's Association. While you were a member of its executive committee, they received $530,000 from Koch Industries, $350,000 from Murray Energy, $160,000 from ExxonMobil, and $125,000 from Devon Energy, the company whose letter you transposed onto your letterhead and sent as an Oklahoma Attorney General document. Did you solicit, in your role at the Republican Attorney General's Association, any of that funding?
I'm unable to confirm if they gave those numbers, Senator, those amounts. There are several members that
Did you solicit funding from them as in your role at the Republican Attorney General's
I attended
Association?
fundraising events as an Attorney General, along with other Attorneys General, with respect to the RAGA.
And did you solicit? Did you ask them for money for RAGA?
As I indicated, I attended fundraising events with
But that's different. Attending a fundraising is one thing. Asking them is my question. Did you ask them for money?
I mean, specifically, you would have to ask about certain entities. I don't know. You
Those are the
entire
entities.
list.
Koch Industries, Murray Energy, ExxonMobil, Devon Energy.
I did not ask of Koch or what were the other ones?
Murray Energy, ExxonMobil, Devon Energy.
I have not asked them for money on behalf of RAGA.
And then we have, you said to the chairman that there is nothing that might place you in a conflict of interest that you have not disclosed. Yet you founded the Rule of Law Defense Fund, which is a dark money operation that supports the Republican Attorney General's Association, and you have not disclosed any of your solicitations for that entity, nor have you disclosed what money was raised pursuant to those solicitations. This is an organization that appears to have $1 million a year budget. So very substantial funds have been solicited. I believe you were its chairman. Will you disclose your role in soliciting money and in receiving money for the Rule of Law Defense Fund pursuant to your solicitation?
Senator, a point of clarification, I actually did not start nor initiate the Rule of Law Defense Fund. That is something I
You
did
led
not
it?
do. I've been an officer of that organization
Okay,
for
an officer of it.
2016. There's an executive staff, fundraisers that actually carry out the functions of that organization. There are many attorneys general that serve on that board. It's not a decision of one. It's a decision of those that have been empowered to make those decisions.
But you haven't told us anything about that. You haven't told us
I have
who
no
you
access to-
asked money
That's a
from. You haven't told us
501c4.
what they gave if you asked them. It's a complete black hole into which at least $1 million goes. And based on your record of fundraising, it appears that a great deal of your fundraising comes from these organizations who are in the energy sector and devoted to fighting climate change.
Some of whom I've actually sued as well, Senator. But with respect to the Rule
Name
of Law
one you've
Defense,
sued up there.
ExxonMobil,
Really?
yes.
My time has expired. We'll pursue this in further question.
Yeah, we're involved in, as I indicated, I think in your office, we are involved in, and Senator Inhofe mentioned it in his comments, a situation in Oklahoma where multiple oil and gas companies, ConocoPhillips and others, have defrauded the state in cleanup with respect to spills that have occurred in ExxonMobil.
Yeah, it's a Quitam fraud case. It has nothing to do with the environment.
Senator, I would
In fact, we're going to reserve that
disagree.
for the second round.
Sure, I'm sorry. He was coming back to me, so I was responding.
Thank you.